So for over a decade, Philadelphia has been trusting the process, which started with a lose now, win later mentality. But after 10 years of the process, the Sixers made probably their biggest move yet when they were able to acquire Jaylen Brown in a trade with the Boston Celtics, and it finally seems like the waiting is over. It's finally no more excuses, no more rebuilding, no more next year. This team has one expectation: to win an NBA championship and to do it soon. Today, we're not just going over why it's important for Philly to win a championship, but how we got to this point and what this Jaylen Brown trade means for the future of the 76ers. So if you aren't already, make sure you sub to the channel and turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I drop a banger and help our community grow. Now let's get into it. So the year is 2012 and the Sixers just lost in the Eastern Conference semifinals in a Game 7 to the Boston Celtics. And at that point, ownership had no belief that the 76ers had a championship ceiling. Over the next 10 years, the Sixers would tear down their roster, have their worst seasons in franchise history, and have fans trust the process for the next 10 years. Now, the process is in its final stage. After over a decade of letdowns with years of losing, questionable trades that didn't work out, like sending away our all-star and Drew Holiday, who later became a champion, lottery picks that just didn't work out with Jahlil Okafor and Markelle Fultz, making the wrong draft choices that cost us to miss out on Jaylen Brown the first time and Jason Tatum, who both went on to win championships, the Ben Simmons era, the James Harden and Jimmy Butler experiments, and multiple second-round exits. It's safe to say that Philly fans are beyond tired, and as a Sixers fan, I know this firsthand. However, every move that I named has led us up to this moment that we will speak about today. The process wasn't just about making the playoffs or the conference finals, it's about winning the championship, and this may be the most confident that Sixers fans are that this could be our year. Even though we have seen other offensive stars shine for the 76ers, a trend that I've noticed is that we go the furthest when we have a good wing. Think about the year we had Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons who were playing at a high level, or even when we had Tobias Harris. Now that we have a good young core with high potential in our backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, the Sixers finally got another good wing as they were able to completely finesse the Boston Celtics and trade Paul George for Jaylen Brown. In my opinion, that trade could have possibly formed a big three that can dominate the NBA with Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, and Tyrese Maxey. For years, Jaylen Brown has faced criticism from early in his career with the Boston Celtics for having sloppy handles and an inconsistent jumper, and if he was really a good fit for the Celtics alongside Jason Tatum. Ultimately, it got so bad to the point where the Boston Celtics offered him in a trade deal for Kevin Durant, but it didn't work out. Just 2 years later, he proved his worth by coming out and winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP after leading his team to a championship win over the Dallas Mavericks in 2024. Just 2 years later, he led the Celtics, who were without Jason Tatum for majority of the season, to a number 2 seed in a stacked Eastern Conference and put on an MVP level season but landed in 6th place in MVP voting. Even with that great season and the number 2 seed, the Celtics fell to the 76ers in the playoffs, and you could really smell blood in the water at this point. With all the speculation on whether he was a good fit for the Celtics and his obvious turmoil with the organization, the Celtics offer him in a trade again, this time for Giannis Antetokounmpo, which would send him to the Bucks. I covered this in another video on my channel. This trade, just like the Durant trade, didn't work out for the Celtics as Giannis went on to the Miami Heat. Just like I predicted in that video, it left Boston and Jaylen Brown in a very awkward spot. At this point, Brown, even after proving himself for multiple years and bringing the city a championship, has seen clear as day that Boston had to choose who their guy was with Jason Tatum. This leads to Boston trading Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George and 4 draft picks. Now, while this trade does say a lot about how Boston felt about Jaylen Brown, on the other side, this trade puts a lot more pressure on the 76ers and Joel Embiid. With being out most of last season and still making the playoffs, he now has to face what all the critics have been saying about him up until this point. He won MVP already, he has been to 7 All-Stars, he has been All-NBA 5 times, and he has been the scoring champion twice, so it's no longer about the individual accolades for Embiid. His major downside has been his injury history and his playoff criticism. Every excuse Joel Embiid once had is now disappearing. Now the roster is loaded, he has a good backcourt, he has a consistent wing, and most of the load doesn't have to be on him anymore like in seasons past. So it's safe to say these next few years will definitely define his legacy. Now for the cost of Jaylen Brown. Even though the Sixers could have avoided this cost by drafting Jaylen Brown when they had the chance, we aren't going to harken back on that. In totality, this trade cost the 76ers Paul George, who was seen as a disappointing trade after the season, 2 second-round draft picks in 2028 and 2030, and 2 first-round draft picks in 2028 and 2031. This wasn't just another trade. This was Philly putting most of the chips in for the future, and if it fails, there aren't many moves left for this team. The need to win now means even more, because just like I stated in past videos, the Eastern Conference is in a win-now mode, with Cleveland, Orlando, Detroit, and Indiana all being in win-now mode, and even with the Sixers' division rival Knicks winning the championship just last season. Even with adding Jaylen Brown, the Sixers now have to survive the toughest conference in the NBA. I'm gonna be honest and generous, I'm gonna give the Sixers about 3 seasons to actually win a championship, because looking into the future, in exactly 3 years, Embiid will be 35 years old, and I'm pretty sure with his health already being such an issue, he will be out of his prime, and it will also be the last guaranteed year of his contract with the 76ers. Also in 3 years, Jaylen Brown will be 32, the age Embiid is right now, and he will be up for another extension of his already max contract. Not only that, but the Sixers will have missed out on their 2028 draft picks with more to miss in 2030. So the young death might not be up to par, and it may feel like starting from scratch all over again with this team. I do give it 1 year of things to not pan out completely, because we have to see how this team actually plays. Do they work out together? Is it actually real chemistry there? However, if things don't go well within the second year, we will definitely have some questions to answer. Will Embiid want out and request a trade? Do they make coaching changes? Does the front office get blown up? Will they start to build more around Maxey and go all in on him? And most of all, the process will be stamped as a failure that took 15 years to get nowhere. All in all, championship windows don't stay open forever, and this may be the most open it's been for the 76ers. They have a lot of competition to get past if they want to capitalize and win it all. Embiid is in his 30s, Jaylen Brown is a proven superstar right now, and Maxey is becoming a superstar as we speak. The front office basically sacrificed the future for the present, and everything Philadelphia has built over the last decade comes down to these next few seasons, because if they don't win it all soon, the process will be known as a failure forever. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Will this trade work out and the Sixers win a championship soon, or will Philly's process be known as a failure? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can continue to grow the community. Till next time, it's MKX.